At the end of my Bethesda in a bit of a pickle video, I mentioned Obsidian getting a crack at making the next Fallout game. It was an educated guess on my part. I know most of you don't stay till the end of the video, so you would have missed that part and all the important parts of that video. Basically, if you only watch 3 or 4 minutes or even 5 minutes, you missed all of the video. But it's proved to be a runaway success, but the point at the end is an important one. Bethesda have overstretched themselves. They've announced too many games. They're going to be at least 10 years making them all, if we're lucky. And I think Microsoft is going to get a little bit impatient with them before they even get close to making Fallout. And this is an important point because they're owned by Microsoft now. So are Obsidian. They're both owned by the same company. Bethesda, Obsidian, Microsoft, one company now. This is the important point to remember. Now, if Obsidian are to get a crack at their next Fallout game, Bethesda have to agree to it. They can get pressured into it by their owner if they wish to make that kind of pressure. If they wait too long to make the Fallout game, I think Microsoft will pressure them into letting Obsidian have a crack of it. So this is why I think Obsidian will make the next Fallout game, not Bethesda. It'll probably be like a spin-off like Fallout New Vegas was. The question is, though, how long and what engine will it use? Now, if Bethesda wanted to keep their Starfield engine to themselves for a bit until they're able to make a Fallout game, then it'd be a Fallout 4 engine game with the same Fallout 4 features that we're used to seeing. Is it too old for that? Not really. Since they started developing for the consoles, gaming development hasn't leaped forward like it used to every couple of years on the PC. It can last about 5-10 years now because how long the gaming consoles last, and then it'll update. So it's not unheard of, put it that way. It would be possible for Obsidian to make a next Fallout game using the Fallout 4 engine. It'd be better if they could use a newer engine, but I think that'd be too much work for them to make a spin-off game. But I think if they did release a spin-off game, you're probably looking at the time the next Elder Scrolls game is in production or being made or announced. I don't think it could get made before then because Obsidian have commitments of their own and they'll be making those games first. But I think you're probably lucky if you see it about the same time as Elder Scrolls 6. That's what I'm thinking. Now, if they did get the green light to go ahead, you'll start seeing announcements, I reckon, in the next year. That's what I'm thinking. In the next 12 months, we'll see something to that effect, that there's a go-ahead for Obsidian. If we don't see it in the next 12 months, I don't think it's going to happen. So this is just me, hypothesizing about it. Hypothesizing, right? I do think that there's a good chance that Obsidian will get the crack at it because Bethesda aren't going to touch it for at least 10 years, I don't think. I mean, I don't see how they can unless they make a right hash of the next 2 games, and nobody wants that. So I think we will see a Fallout game before 2030, and I think it'll be an Obsidian version. Thing is, though, what will they pick and where will they choose to set it? I mean, so far they've picked an unusual location that hasn't been covered. Maybe they'll pick another one that hasn't been covered. Maybe even go the Fallout London route. But we can't tell really because it's really early days. However, right, Bethesda have traditionally had a say in things. But in this particular case, Obsidian have original Fallout members on team. They don't need Todd Howard or anybody else to advise them on the Fallout game because they've already got experts, the original creators, on their team who could advise them. So they could potentially make one of the best Fallout games we've ever seen. A combination of the old 2D system, look down, and the 3D system combined in a way that's more true to the original. So we could see the best Fallout game we've ever seen so far, and one that's true to the original and the newer Bethesda games. Or we could see just a rehash of Fallout 4. But I don't think that's likely. Obsidian tend to take pride in their RPGs. They do have a few faults. They're not good at balancing their games. They do tend to leave doors locked unless they're your quest locations, and then they're locked until the quests open them. And if there's no quest using them, they stay locked. That's their problem. That's why they'll never be a Bethesda, because they don't know how to make a proper open world. Everything is there for a quest or it's not used. That's always been the issue. They're not so good at dialogue. They tend to bore your head off with endless dialogue that just isn't interesting. I mean, I was listening to their Outer Worlds, and I think it's Outer Worlds or something like that, and I was just sort of going, losing the will to live. And it's the same with some of their other games as well. They got it right in Fallout New Vegas. They kept it short, sweet, kept the game moving forward, and without getting too deep into it. And I thought that was the way to be. But I reckon that was because of it was a Bethesda game and it wasn't, one of their own. But if they do the same thing again as they did in Fallout 3, with Fallout New Vegas, it should potentially be a really good game. Because let's face it, right, unlike Bethesda, who start introducing these character checks and statistic checks early on and then forget about it later, Obsidian never do. They carry that on through their whole game. So you might start at the beginning saying, have you got the right site check to do this skill? No, well, come back later when you have. Same will be true when you get to a higher level. They'll still be doing these checks, which is why Fallout New Vegas has a special place in people's hearts, and Fallout 3 doesn't really cut the mustard in the same arena, so to speak. Anyway, I am hoping Obsidian get another crack at it, because they did do a good job on Fallout New Vegas. I mean, it was a bit of a one-way trip going around the map every single time, because these Razorbacks, whatever you call them, would kill you if you tried going south straight away. There were games like the Two Whales one, I can't remember what they call it now, where there was a mod that allowed you to run both Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas together on the Fallout New Vegas engine. And if you played one and went into the other, then you could go straight south because you were high enough level to do it. But without that, you couldn't go south. You had to go north and all the way around, through all the normal things and do all the normal quests in the normal way. So it was a bit like playing Skyrim in Helgen and going through Helgen every single time. It was like that. So anyhow, I'm kind of hoping that they get a crack at it, and I think they might. It's just a question of, will Bethesda allow it or not allow it? But they're all Microsoft companies now. So they may well think, well, look, you're not going to do anything with it for another 10 years. Let Obsidian have a go. That's what I'm thinking. That's the direction I think we'll see it. And I do think we'll hear about this in the next 12 months. See you in the next one.